So hi everybody, I'm here with Mikitta, and basically we're going to show you how to take assets or items, files, or modules in Foundry for 5e and import them into Black Flag or Tales of the Valiant, depending how you want to call it. So I've done some of this. Mikitta's done a lot more than me, and we got talking and we decided that we would create this video, which basically is Mikitta doing all the work because she's the expert here, and
I'm no
I'll
expert.
no expert. Okay, well you've done it more than me. We'll go with that. And you talk a lot and you do help a lot of people out on Cobalt Press's Discord server.
I
So
try.
everyone appreciates that for sure. So she's gonna walk through this and we'll go from there. So, Mikitta, show us what you got.
All right. So the process of converting files is actually not difficult at all. There are a few things that you need to start out with. So we're going to look at our modules first. Um, and this is, of course, Foundry. You want both your D&D 5e system and your Black Flag system to be updated to their highest patch level, their most recent patch level. And the modules, the absolute modules you're going to want is this one right here. Let me ping the map. I think it'll ping. No, it's not going to ping. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if you can see that or not. Right here, Black Flag role-playing content tools. That is the linchpin to all of this. Now, I also suggest having 5e stat block importer and 5e spell block importer. Adventure Bundler, if you have a lot of custom content, is also really useful. And then whatever assets you're wanting to bring over. Tome of Heroes requires socket lib, lib wrapper, and dynamic active effects. So that was automatically installed when I activated Tome of Heroes. Now for myself, for reading journals, I like Monk's Enhanced Journals. I feel like it makes it more readable and easier to work with, but that's up to you. That's not a necessary mod to have. So these mods are what I like to have loaded up. And let's get started. So we're going to start small. We're going to import a small spell called, oh, where did it go? Where'd it go? Here it is, Amplify Light. It's a first level transmutation spell, and it is in, what is the book? Deep Magic. It's one of the Deep Magic books from Cobalt Press. So I'm going to copy my spell block, and I'm just going to paste it right here into spell block importer and hit import, and it pulls the spell in. It has all of the details. You might have to do a few things to fudge it a little bit, but honestly I would wait until you got it into Black Flag, because you're going to have to fudge it a little bit and polish it up and make it work anyway. But this gets all of your descriptions in, most of your features, things like your components and how long the spell lasts and what kind of spell it is. And the next thing we have to do once we have our spell in, we're going to have to make a compendium. I'm not going to use that one. So I'm going to create a compendium, and I'm going to call it D&D to Black Flag items. Now, if you've done anything with Foundry, you've heard that everything in Foundry is an item type. And you've got several item types: actors, adventure, card stack, actual item types, journal entries, etc. We are going to choose the item type and make this compendium. I'm going to open that up and find our spell that we just converted and stick it right there into the D&D Black Flag D&D to Black Flag items. Now this is the easy part. We're going to mouse over, amplify light. We're going to right click, and we've got those mods. Remember, we've got them activated, especially that converter mode. We're going to export for Black Flag. And it will bring, and you will want to make sure you know where your directory for this is going, because it really surely is not fun to have to go looking for it when you're wanting to transfer it into your Black Flag game if you don't know where the directory was. So I have a directory, demo D&D 5e to Black Flag conversion files. And here I've got the name. I'm just going to go ahead and use this whole thing as is. I'm going to save the file. And it's really as simple as that to export your file. So that's something that you've pulled in. You can do this with actors.
So I'm going to say something real quick. Like
Yes.
I'm only seeing your Foundry screen. Like if you're pulling up other parts of the file, I'm not
Oh,
seeing that.
you're not seeing that? I'm not sure how to make that visible.
Okay.
Okay, let me pull up stat blocks. And okay, I see the stat block. Do you see the stat block paste screen?
Yeah, I see
Because I can see it.
I see anything within Foundry, but I'm not seeing like the actual
Okay.
what you're copying from or what have you.
Okay. Yeah, you're not going to.
Okay, fair enough. My bad. Sorry.
You're not going to, because that's not the screen I'm sharing. I'm sharing the Foundry screen, and I'm not popping back and forth.
Got it.
You do not want to see the mess that's
That's fair. Sorry to interrupt you.
it's
Go
bad.
on.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Okay, so you can do this with actors, NPCs, monsters, items, anything like that. The only thing you cannot parse to put into Black Flag currently are player characters. It's better to pull over the features that make up that character, like a fighter's last stand feature or whatnot. Any features like that you pull over because they're items. And rebuild the character in Black Flag. It's much easier to do that than try to import one that's already been built in another system. All right, so I have this. I've exported that. Before we move on to the Black Flag system, I'm going to show you what we do for doing a whole adventure. So I have Tome of Heroes here. And here's the different compendiums that it automatically creates. And there's quite a few for this book. Got roll tables, magic spells, character features. But I want all of it to come over all at once, so I don't have to click on each one to export it. So I'm going to go to the book content and installer, and I am going to look for the bundled adventure. And that's this one right here. And if you open up that file, you have this nice little splash screen. It tells you what the book is and what the files are, all these roll tables, folders, everything. So it's the same process. I'm going to right click, export for Black Flag. It brings up my export. And I've already done this once, so I'm going to just overwrite the file. It's the same file. Tome of Heroes conversion files. And I'm going to save. And I don't know if you can see this thing that just popped up. I don't think you can.
No, I can't.
Yep, you can't. Okay, well, it comes up and tells me the file has been exported.
Okay.
So we've got our two files that we're going to look for. So we're going to go back to the Forge. And I'm going to go to my demo Black Flag conversion world, and it doesn't have very many modules on it, but I'll show you the modules you need to have in order for this to work. And again, it's that converter that is the linchpin to the whole process. You have to have that in both systems because that is what does all of the for the changes that need to be made, like taking a spell from first level to first ring, things like that. And you can also set things up to reference Black Flag and ToV source material like the player's guide or the GMG or the monster manual. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I have my modules set up. I have my adventure bundler just because that is not a necessary one, but if you have homebrew or custom content, then you'll want to have adventure bundler. Black Flag role-playing content tools, and again, I just like Monk's enhanced journals. It just makes things so much easier for me to read and organize in the journals. So I make sure my mods are where they need to be, and I'm going to go to compendium packs. Now I've already got a file set up for what I'm pulling in. And remember when I said everything in Foundry is an item? Everything in Foundry is an item, but there are different item types. The ones that are most important for this process are actor types, adventure types, item types, and journal types. Don't worry about macros. I was just messing around there. But actors, adventures, items, and journals. Those are the ones you're going to be most concerned about for when you're pulling things over. Like an adventure is mostly going to be a journal that has your adventure in it, and you might have some monsters associated with it. You can also do maps, but you do not need to use this system to pull maps over. If you've got Foundry, you should already have your maps in your files. And those you just do like you normally do with Foundry. So we are going to pull over. I've already done it. But if I hadn't already done it, I would just right click my adventure imports, import from D&D 5e, choose file, and I go to the file that I want to choose. And of course you can't see it because I'm not sharing that particular bit on my screen. I go to my Tome of Heroes conversion files, open, and this is just going to overwrite what's already in there. It's the same file, so it's not really going to overwrite much. I'm going to import, and I get this nifty screen here. Now the purpose of this screen is you can either keep all of the links in those spells. There's a lot of links, like this does this kind of damage, and that links to the SRD in D&D 5e that explains that kind of damage. You can choose to have it instead point to the Black Flag rules. And you can go through all of those. I haven't played too much with this menu because I've been doing other things with what I've imported. So I'm not real good at this bit, but like the D&D 5e rules, you'll go right back to Black Flag, and you can do that with all of these. Now, Tome of Heroes, TOH backgrounds, I really don't know what to convert that to, so I'm not going to mess with it. A lot of these D&D 5e rules to the Black Flag rules, I'm not sure what maps well with what, but anything with rules or spells.
Yeah, I'll have to play with this in the future
Yes,
for
this
sure.
this one, this is something I think would take an actual wiki
Yeah.
to outline so that it's easier to understand. D&D monster features. Actually, I'm gonna just leave it as is there because I don't want to mess things up too much. So I'm going to import the documents. And this actually puts it in your world. Maybe. Here we go. So there's your, not gonna work? Okay, so here's your book. Ah, it didn't do it. Let's try that again. Ah, here we go. Import adventure. Yes. So it did show up here. And you can import the adventure from your compendium. And remember, your compendiums have to be the same type as the type you're pulling in. So that's a whole adventure. And it does show up. It has all of the features for you. Now for my little spell that wasn't in there, I'm going to go to item imports, and you can see that's empty. We're going to click on that, import. I'm going to choose my file. That was Amplify Light. So you can see that shows up right here, right next to choose file. And I'm going to import documents. And it's a small enough file that it's not working. And I'm just got egg on my face here. Why did that not work? It honestly, it didn't work. Why didn't it work?
It didn't give an error.
No, it didn't give an error. Sometimes you can do this and it won't work real well because there's something wrong with the file.
Open
And
item
I,
imports again just 1 second.
mhm,
Okay, it's not locked. That's just making sure
yeah, it
somehow.
shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Let's import that again and see if that doesn't come through. If it doesn't, I have another file I can use
All right. Fair
that
enough.
I know works. So import. Ah, here we go. Now this is going to work. So I'm just going to point this to black flag rules and then import documents. Ah, it's
Ah.
not liking it. It's not liking it. Let me try that again.
What if you just take the default?
Yeah, I'm going to try that. And it might also be D&D Beyond. Ah, there it
There you
goes.
go.
There
Go.
it is.
Go figure.
There it is. And here we have it. Amplify Light. And when you want to use this, you'll have to choose your source of magic. Because Black Flag ToV has arcane, divine, primordial, and weird for your sources, rather than it's a in D&D it's transmutation or it's abjuration. ToV has the 4 magic types, and that's how you determine the source. But it brings in details like this is an action, duration is special duration, it's a touch spell, non-magical light source for your and then all you would have to do is read through the description and make sure that all the details are correct in here. If you have to create an activity with it, you would create an activity with it to make it work and be somewhat automated. If it has effects, you would want to add those. So let me actually see. I've got some other things I can import here. So they're in a different file. Uh, open. There, I've got, those are adventures. Ah, here we go. So I had a problem when I first started playing with this, and I was bringing over the beast books. And
Oh,
I could
the
not
Tomb of
get, I
Beast
could,
PDFs?
yeah, I think it was Creature Codex
Creature
actually.
Codex. Okay.
I want to say it was Creature Codex. Okay. Artwork book. It wasn't Book of Layers. It was, I believe it was Creature Codex. See, I have the whole codex, Jason, right there. This one right up, Birchta, the Birchta Fey lady would not convert. She did not want to come over. I'm gonna keep the, okay, so I can remap my compendium pack to Black Flag rules for this character. And that was an actor import, so let's look in our actors. There she is.
So for creature codex, you had to
I had to
open up.
actually,
So you actually went monster by monster in the PDF and copied and pasted it into that.
so so what I did, no, no,
No.
no,
Okay. Okay.
no.
What did you do
What,
then? I can't see what you
well,
did to get that far.
well, what I had to do
Hmm.
is it wouldn't convert. Everything else was converting beautifully. I got layers in. I got the beast. I got Toma Beasts 1 and Toma Beasts 3. Those are the two of the beast books that I own on Foundry. Those converted beautifully. Everything was converting beautifully. Then I got to Creature Codex, and it would not convert. I went through. I went into the file structure in the compendium, and I had to. I made file folders. See, you can make a file folder
Okay.
in your compendiums. I don't know how many people know that, but yeah, you can make file folders to organize. I'll remove that folder because I don't need it. Um,
I learned something new today. I didn't know you could do
yeah,
that.
you can do that. It's really nice. Um, I went through and alphabetized it and started converting like alphabetically. I converted
Okay.
A's. I converted the file with A's in it, and it converted. I tried to convert B. It would not convert. So I started with. I luckily Birch to Fey Lady is like four monsters down.
Sorry.
I I I just converted each one until I got to the one that wouldn't work, and I took her out. I removed her from that compendium and put her in a different file and tried to convert the bees, and they would. And then I tried to convert the whole file, and it would. It went. So I knew it was that file. And I dug into it, and her file was corrupted. I had to fix her file,
Ugh.
and I got it to work. And I think it had something to do with um, it wasn't it her monster type, her creature type
Hmm.
was corrupted in the file, and I had to redo the file. I had to remake her.
Gotcha.
So, sometimes that happens. Sometimes a single file will be corrupted, or it has, it got imported into Foundry, it got imported into your game, and it didn't work. And so you have to do a little bit with it. But so far, Birchta is the only one that has given me any troubles. I I created a new iteration of D&D 5e, and put that book as the only thing that was in there, and and the whole thing converted fine. So it was just an iteration issue. It just
Okay.
it just didn't load correctly for that particular file.
Okay.
So this is honestly as easy as it gets. You just pull things over. Um, One thing you'll have to do. Let me actually open up. Did I?
Well, it's going to save me typing because if I wanted a
It
certain creature,
does.
I mean, luckily, I can touch type, but it's still a pain in the neck. I mean, I
It
wouldn't
takes
type all
hours.
that. Yeah, I mean, I would just pick whatever monsters, whatever I would need, and just do those. I would never do the whole book. I mean, that would just take me forever.
Okay. So this is one that I'm working on. It's on a different world that I'm working on. It has a lot, which has a lot more stuff on it. Um, but there you go.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, it has everything on. That's not what I want to do. It has everything on it, so you can read it if you turn up your. If I turned up my which is I'm going to do because I can't read that small. I don't know. Have you noticed as time has gone on how much smaller the print keeps getting?
Well, I mean, luckily my wife works for an eye doctor,
Oh,
so
there you go.
she just keeps upping my prescription.
So this is nice having all of the text because I can tell that my third level is perfect calm. I can come back here to subclass features. I'm gonna close. I can actually search the item. Perfect. Perfect calm. Right there it is. Because the files broke, the links broke. This is one of the things, if you know where, what to change, in that big menu that showed up, if you know what to change,
Yep,
those
yep.
links won't be broken. So I've got two files that are broken. I can come over here and drop them in. What's my second one?
Yeah, because that's what I was doing when I was creating these manually, these classes manually.
Mm-hmm.
First you create like the subclass features first, and then you create the
Mm-hmm.
class, and then you drag and drop them in. But
Exactly.
in your world, like theoretically, it should all transfer over in one shot. But you're saying sometimes it doesn't
Right.
behave
I've
itself.
I've well, all of the texting, all the text creation has been done.
Okay.
And for most of it, I mean, turbulent waters is kind of a odd case out scenario because it has some things that you have to do with the menus to make it work
Hmm.
that do not translate over at all. It has to do with that big menu and mapping, but it did not translate over for this. Um, and I'm still struggling with um, making it work because it's getting into the weeds with creating activities
Yep.
on this, and I'm not going to go into that as I'm still struggling with it. But perfect calm, one of the things you'll have to work on and change is like
Yeah.
flurry of blows. So you come over here to black flag and you can uh, where is it? Character creation. I can look up flurry of blows, open that, and open the identity, copy that, and just
Yep.
replace this whole thing. Ah, I did that wrong. And replace that whole thing, save it, and it should. Yep. Nope. I screwed that one up.
I'll have to play with it as well
Yeah,
because
it's playing with it. Like I think you have to have the brackets around it.
probably yes. I would put the brackets around it. I mean,
Mhm.
I've done this because I imported. I have Deep Magic 1 and 2
Right.
as a 5e compendium, and I converted the spells over to Tales of the Valiant, and they all came across fine. But I didn't try the Thurge or the Witch that's in those books to see what happened with
Mhm.
those. So maybe I'll have to fiddle with that later, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll even make a follow up video if I get it working correctly. And it'd be
Yeah.
interesting as well because I'm all my stuff's on my PC. I can't show what you're showing, which would be something in Forge. I don't use Forge.
Right. So I'm gonna try this again. I had it working over on the other.
It's all good.
Yeah, I had it. I have it working over on the other one, but So you have to just go in and change a few things.
It beats typing it, like I said.
It absolutely does. There we go.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. And so I can click on that
Yep, and it'll bring it up.
and it should bring it up.
It did. It switched it over to the right there. See, it says flurry
Yeah.
blows.
So technique flurry of blows. Um, you can do it so that you can link that to the actual book, the actual journal.
Yep.
So, that's the one thing, this is where all your links are broken. And you have to go in and fix them. But this is actually the perfect home one is actually one of the easier ones to fix.
Yep. It gets a little funkier when you start doing the ones that do damage.
Mm-hmm. Um, the ones that have scaled damage and um, scale the number of dice you can use, and yeah, I'm still struggling with that. I'm not good at it. But yeah, it's the actual conversion is real easy. If it's not converting, just kind of play with it a bit and troubleshoot. It's possible the file is corrupted. It's possible that you clicked the wrong button or you're trying to import it into a compendium that's made for a different file type.
Okay.
So any questions?
Not for me. I think that worked pretty well, and
Mhm.
I certainly learned a few things, and I'm gonna try them out over the next few days because I definitely
Well,
have a lot of PDFs that I'd like to try and grab certain pieces of for sure.
now if you have just PDFs of stuff,
Yeah.
I would not import them into D&D Beyond or in D&D Beyond into the D&D 5e system. I would simply just start from scratch
Yep.
and do it that way. It's going to be faster. You're going to have less headaches, and it's going to take you about the same amount of time. So just do it from here. But anything you have assets for that is 5e that you can get into that's already Foundry ready, just pull it on over. I mean, honestly, my next purchase is probably going to be Toma Beast 2 and Toma Beast 2 layers if it's Foundryable.
Yeah, for sure.
Because those adventures can be brought over. It's actually really easy to bring the adventures in. Then you have your maps and you have your journals and everything is within that. They're actually cross-linked. So you just have to maybe fix a few things.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
I need to make up a list.
Well, when you figure out how to make all of the damage stuff work, you got to teach me how to do it because I'm no good at it, and I got a
um,
lot of stuff I want to do.
yeah, I can fiddle with that. I've done that because I've
Yeah.
done it manually, right? So again,
Hmm.
I kind of put an existing one side by side and then figure it out. But yeah, we'll play with
Yeah.
it for sure. All right.
Absolutely.
Well, this was
So
great. Thank you.
yeah, thank you for having me on your podcast.
Ah, no worries. All right. Chat later.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.